Welcome to the Bean Apple Podcast.
All right, welcome to the Bean Apple. We are doing the Jets recap. Me and Mike Trafcanti, our guest and sometimes reliable fourth wheel.
Angry Jet fan.
Yeah, so just watching that. Pathetic. Is there? I don't know if there's a better word for it, but just flat, lifeless game that we were all just subjected to. So overall, very, very Adam Gase-like game, right? His sixth. You see that stat? Sixth 20+ point loss since 2019, the most of any coach in football. Six games that they've lost by 20 points or more, and he's still the coach of this team.
He's still the coach. I mean, even this season, they haven't been in one game. They lost by 10 to the Bills, but that was because the Bills, gave us a freebie, a 2-minute drive. But it's been there hasn't been one game that's been within two possessions. We got blasted by the Colts. We got blasted again today. I mean, I don't know. I don't know I don't know when the right time is, but for me, it can't really be soon enough. And, I've heard a lot of people say, what do you, why it's not all Gase's fault and everything, but I mean, somebody's got to be held accountable for what's happening here. And, I'm not so sure that it's Douglas, even though he has a little bit of blame here. The offensive line I thought was going to be a lot better. Although today Becton was hurt and he didn't play. Yeah. We should talk about, him coming into the game last week, which was a brutal decision. Fant went down today. They're a little bit of a patchwork unit again. And, Douglas is an O-line guy, but he's we really got to get this thing figured out fast.
Right. Well, he talked about that. I mean, that was the whole focus of the offseason. Right. And you passed up on and the game that's going on here behind me, the Giants Dallas game. Right. I wanted CeeDee Lamb so bad. And I've talked about that since episode 1. Like he's outstanding. Just his talent is ridiculous. And we took Becton and I was beside myself. I was so upset about it because we have nobody to throw the ball to. Right. Like Crowder's doing outstanding in his role. But outside of that, there's nothing. I would love to have CeeDee Lamb out there on one side, have Crowder in the slot, and then we talked about it in the pregame show, but I was really interested to see what Jeff Smith was going to do in game 2 coming off the IR. 11 targets.
3 catches.
11 targets and 3 catches. I mean, he had a couple of bad drops, but a lot of them were just uncatchable from Flacco, which sucked, but he did have that. He missed that easy first down pitch and catch early in the game. That touchdown that went right off his shoulder pad, it was an over the shoulder catch, which, is difficult, of course, when you're draped by a cornerback, but still you got to catch that if you're an NFL wide receiver. But I mean, he's young. This is game 2 coming off the IR for the season. So last week, I think he had 11 targets as well. So I think back-to-back 11 target games, which is something you want to see. And but he definitely needs to do a little better than 3 for 23 on 11 targets. That in itself is not pretty.
Yeah. But, and so let's talk about the game, because I mean, I don't know if I could really find too much that I can say that was nice, right? So the Jets come out, and in typical Jets fashion, we're just going to go 3 and out because that's just what we do, right? So at least we came out with a pass to open the game. He throws to Smith. One of his 11 targets was the first one there, incomplete. Yeah. Then they have a 2-yard run. Now we're 3rd and 8, and you can forget it. Actually, they almost got there. Crowder, I think it was like a 7-yard pass there, and then they had the 4th and 1, one of the first 4th and 1s of the game, and then they just have to punt it. But let me just pause for a second and say, man, thank God we have Jameson Crowder. Because, this guy, what was he today? I think 8 catches,
8
I think.
for 116 and a touchdown on 10 targets. Yeah.
8 for 116 of the 195 yards that Flacco had. Very pedestrian day. Didn't really do anything special there. But 8 catches on 10 targets, right? The guy's unbelievable. And if he's not in that lineup, I don't know what happens.
Yeah.
What would we do? What would we get blown out? We already got blown out. But
yeah, we would just continue to get blown out even worse. So
we just continue to get blown out. So we go 3 and out. The defense actually holds, go 3 and out. We come back again. We have another right away, 3 and out again. And at that point, it's just disappointing because that we're not just going to keep holding here. But it was really a weird first half because the Jets go back-to-back 3 and outs. We give it back to Kyler Murray, and he goes down the field, 8 plays, touchdown. We're down 7-0. We come out, we actually get 1 first down before we have to punt, and then a series of punts back and forth, and then we go on this drive. Right, we have this nice long drive, and we get all the way down into the second quarter. We have a 3rd and 1 at Arizona's 13-yard line. Right, and what do we do here? We run Trey Wesco up the gut on 3rd and 1. I mean,
because why not?
Because we've as much as they overuse Gore. Gore is usually good for 2 yards, and you got Gore. Just use him. Stop trying to. I don't even know what you're trying to do. Just run Gore up the middle on, and then you have a 4th and 1, and now you go to Le'Veon Bell, and he just gets stuffed in the backfield, and that's it. And you turn the ball over, and then okay. So even after all that stupidity, we get a very lucky break where somebody deflects the ball. I didn't see who it was, and Avery Williamson intercepts it, runs down here, and then you just know we're not going to score a touchdown, right? So we go 3 and out there again. First play, by the way, this is what really killed me, and I almost turned off the game here. So we get the interception, we come out, and it's 1st and goal from the 10, and you know what happens? We have a delay of game. Delay of game.
Yeah.
Now, listen, sometimes I know, we've all watched these games where something happens, there's a little bit of a delay maybe it's changing possession like that, or maybe you're just indecisive on the play that you want to make. And you see the play clock, because the play clock's always displayed on the TV now. And I always have an eye on it. I'm saying, come on, hurry up, get the play off. Times do you see they blow the whistle, but then, there's the coach by the ref saying, timeout, and he saves us. He saves the 5-yard pass. I mean, can somebody tell Gase that it's okay for him to do that? If he sees this happening, can he call a timeout? Can he go over and he can call a timeout? Okay?
But what makes you think Gase is actually paying attention to what's going on? Because there's no indication whatsoever that he's paying attention to anything that's going on in the game, because he can't call a play that actually results in positive outcomes. Why would he be paying attention to the clock or anything else? Or
they're paying an offensive coordinator to do God knows what.
Yeah.
At least look at the clock. Get somebody to look at the play clock.
That could be the offensive coordinator's job.
It could be.
Your whole job. Just watch the play clock. If it gets down to 1, call a time.
Call timeout. So we wind up getting our MVP Sam Ficken to come on, and he just bangs a field goal through, which is nice. It's 7-3. We kick off. They go right down the field, 14-3. And the game's over. Right? It's 17-3. We're trailing by double digits again at the half, and it's awful. It's brutal being a Jets fan.
Let's talk about Adam Gase's outstanding play call, and outside of his coaching, I should say, that challenge on what was that?
Yeah, you're blowing a timeout. It was Crowder
on 3rd and 1.
It was second. No, it was second down.
Yeah,
it was second down.
Second down.
It was like 2nd and 13 or 2nd and 11, and he throws the nice pass, and Crowder goes to the side, and he steps out of bounds so clearly a yard and a half before the marker. It wasn't even close. And he wastes a challenge on it. My God!
It's not 4th down. That wasn't going to be a turnover.
But but though, I wonder about that though. That particular instance, somebody must have said to him, "Challenge this," because God, I really hope it couldn't have been him that saw it, right? I mean,
I would hope somebody.
I mean, doesn't somebody buzz down and say, "Hey, you got to challenge that"? So. Maybe everybody's drinking in the box or wherever they are, because I don't know, or maybe they're trying to blow the game and just let's lose a timeout, let's lose our opportunity to challenge. I don't know what they're doing, but it's stupid. I know that I can tell you that for sure.
But normally you've got your offensive coordinator sitting up there calling the plays down and watching the overhead view of what's going on and paying attention to things. And, you've got the guy that his entire job is to watch for replay stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but why you would call that on that play more, makes no sense whatsoever. But it just goes to show the continued dysfunction of this team is disgusting. And then me and you were talking about that play. So they tried to get cute and pull off like a flea flicker type thing, but they toss it to Jeff Smith, who comes around and he's trying to make a pass and he just gets blown up for what it was like a loss of 13, I think it was. Yeah, Baker was all over him, and it was a disaster from the get-go. And we talked about the offensive line. I don't know how he got through it like nobody was standing there, but he was in the backfield. He was so far in the backfield so quickly that literally nobody had to have touched him. That's the only explanation of how he got back there is everybody just said, we don't need to cover this guy. He's not very good. And he just went right past him. But you go from that play, and then it was 2nd and 26. And what do you do after that? So you
run it up the gut.
You run it up the gut with Frank Gore, and you lose another yard. I can't. And so now you're looking at 3rd and 27. And that's it. And then you try and pass the ball, and you couldn't. Yeah. They couldn't. He had to throw it out of bounds. It's 3rd and 27. The defense is playing deep to keep the first down. You couldn't get a 12-yard pass to at least get downfield. We couldn't get anybody open just to get a completion and move the ball down the field a little bit closer.
Is P. Ryan hurt? I mean, what this?
Yeah, they drafted him and they don't use him.
What's going on? I mean, can we stop handing off to Frank Gore? Really? I mean, seriously.
No.
I don't know.
I don't
know. I don't know what they're doing. So but here's the thing: we go into halftime, we're down 14, right? So now we're kicking off to them, and you're expecting the worst, but the defense holds, right? So it's like they got one first down, I think 6-play drive. They punt back to us. We get the great second half adjustments. We go, hand off. We go 3 and out. It's just what happens. And you know what too? I mean, we had a 4th and 1 on our own 31. I mean, at what point are you going to start just saying, we just got to go. We just got to go for it. We just got to go for it. Right. I mean, the game's 17-3. You're already down by 2 touchdowns. You're going to punt it away again. The defense can't get after the quarterback. We can't cover anybody. By the way, if you're playing fantasy football with defensive players, individual defensive players, like some of these things do, take Pierre Desir, because every quarterback in the league knows that he can't cover anybody. But he's going to rack up a dozen tackles every game because they're constantly picking on it. And in the rare event that the ball pops in the air and he'll intercept it, maybe he'll get some bonus points for you.
Yeah, he's got some of the weirdest games that you'll ever see. I think it's just you look at the box score for what he's doing. And last week we talked about it. He had, just getting torched, and he had, a pick 6, another interception and getting destroyed. And 11 tackles today, 8 solo tackles. He didn't get any interceptions, but yeah, I mean, obviously he was the leader in tackles, so they're still targeting him as much as they possibly want, and nobody could do anything. DeAndre Hopkins in this game, I talked about it. Like, I don't know, that one drive alone was all him. I mean, he had like a 37-yard catch, and then like a 52-yard catch, or 45 and 37, and that touchdown, one-handed, right in the bread.
One-handed. Just they could have called pass interference on that because he was holding his arm back. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't, but beautiful catch, beautiful throw, beautiful catch. I knew he was going to have a field day. I thought he would do a lot more than 6 catches for 131, but Arizona had no trouble whatsoever. I mean, they were playing it soft. They had more punts than I thought they would have had, but they were never really aggressive. Kenyan Drake, again, did not have a get-right game, which I thought he was going to. He still scored a touchdown, but nothing. Edmonds outplayed him a ton. He looked dangerous. So If you play fantasy and Edmonds is still out there, he better be a waiver pickup this week, unless I guess Chase Claypool was out there after his 4-touchdown game today against the Eagles. My God.
Yeah, right. That was insane.
Yeah. So, just I don't know where there's really no end in sight for what this team is going. And now we've got the schedule change. So instead of having to go to LA to play the Chargers this week, we've got Miami, and I don't know if it's a home game or not, but yeah, we literally, right when this show was starting, we watched the end of that game, and it was a blowout. They went out to San Francisco and just manhandled the 49ers. It was we were talking about this as our best chance of getting a win would be against Miami.
I said it.
And
I said it last week. Yeah.
That no longer looks like the case.
Listen, here's the funny thing about Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick is he's like a poor man's Russell Wilson, right? He's just going to rip the ball all over the field. Mm-hmm. And when he's hot, I mean, he drops it in the bucket and you can't stop it. But, he's just never been consistent enough to be that franchise quarterback to get you to the promised land, right? But he's going to throw it all over the field. He's going to run. He's going to take shots. Mm-hmm. And he just keeps coming, and I always liked that. He had such great moxie, about him. But they lit up San Francisco. And with the Jets defense the way it is, they can't rush and they can't cover. He's going to light up the Jets too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think this is going to be embarrassing.
Yeah, I thought maybe we would see Tua after last week and that performance that they had, but after this week, I think he's cemented himself for another one. We've got to go down to Miami. They have fans in the stands. It's going to be, probably Joe Flacco game 2, and Joe Flacco, he's a competent backup quarterback at this point, but we don't have the talent on the team for him to do anything with either. So, if he was stepping in Dallas right now, you'd feel pretty good about what he could do. But this team, it's nothing. Yeah. So,
Flacco's 18 of 33 passing. I mean, my God, right?
Yeah, let's get excited.
195 yards. But so they did, though. One of the things, so I noticed a couple of things that looked a little bit different. So we ran this backside screen to Crowder. It was great that I've seen before, right? So I thought that play was a little bit new. They sort of rolled to the right, and he threw back to the left. The whole offensive line got out in front. They wound up getting like 11 yards. I think it was like a 2nd and 13 or something like that. And then he lofted a nice pass that had a little bit of air yards under it. Like I've been saying every week, can we at least get the ball down the field? Can we try to get the ball down the field one time a game at least, just so defenders don't just keep jumping routes and sitting on our guys. You have to give them something to think about. And both of those were successful, but we just don't do enough of that stuff. Mm-hmm. And again, I don't know why. It's Gase and what he wants to do. And just the fact that that Becton didn't play today. He was too hurt to play today. But he gets in the game last week. I mean, you can't do that to that kid, mm-hmm. right? I mean, what if he would have? Now he's claiming it's just a pain threshold thing, and there was no risk of further damage. I don't know. I think that was a big mistake. And I've heard people say that, that alone should be a fireable offense. And the same thing with Darnold. What'd you have to put him back in the game for? The team's 0-5. The season's over. Last week, we were 0-4. The season was over. There was no reason to be going out and doing these stupid things, and it's a part of the reason why the coach should be fired, because he's probably going to keep doing stupid things.
Yeah, there's no end in sight with him. And the thing that pisses me off, and it's exactly what you're talking about right now, is if you look at the game script for this game, right? So the first series, 2 pass attempts. The second series, he went 3 and out on 3 straight passes, and then the third series, they go 4 runs in a row, which they ended up getting a first down. Bell got a first down, but 4 straight runs with Le'Veon Bell, and then Flacco has an incomplete pass, and then they punt. So the game script makes no sense. There's no balance to it. There's nothing. But we talk about it. They come right out the gates. Out of the first 6 plays, because we went 3 and out on the first 2 series. But you run the ball one time on the first 6 plays. Why doesn't Sam get that opportunity?
Right.
I mean, he's the better quarterback, and you're not putting the ball in Sam's hands to do anything. I mean, give him 5 out of the 6 first shots to make something happen, because he can do it. But instead, what do they do when Sam's in there? Frank Gore up the middle, Le'Veon Bell off, a toss to the left or the right for a couple yards, and then an incomplete pass, and he's done, or a complete pass, but it's it's third and 9 or third and 8, and they pick up 4 yards because the pressure's so intense that Sam has 2.5 seconds to get rid of the ball, and you can't get anything going.
If we can stop running sweeps and tosses with Gore, that would be a nice first step, right? If you want to run Gore, you run him straight, you run him off tackle or up the middle. You don't try to run outside with Gore. Right. You just don't, right? He's 48 years old.
Mm-hmm. That's Le'Veon Bell's job.
Or P. Ryan, maybe if he could. Yeah, if he can get in there a little bit.
Yeah, but let's use the guy who's on a 1-year contract and is on the doorstep of retirement instead of the guy that we drafted as a potential replacement, because Gore's gone after this year, Bell is gone after this year. It's most likely P. Ryan's job, and you're not giving the kid an audition. You're just going to hand him the reins next year and go, oh, well, hey, guess what? It turns out he's not a starting running back. Now we got to go back to that drawing board. This, like you've talked about, and we've talked about in other shows, this is the year you figure out what your foundational pieces are. And if it's not Sam, you move on with Trevor Lawrence. If it's not P. Ryan, you draft a running back in the offseason, or you keep Bell for another year. I don't know, but you've got to identify right now, what you actually have to build on and what you've got to cut bait on and move on from. The offensive line still needs work. Maybe we'll draft another defensive lineman. I mean, no, we can't have enough of those. So
no more interior linemen, please. No more interior linemen.
Yeah, no more. At some point, if you're going to keep Gase on for the rest of the year, it needs to be just to finish things out and let this team, see what pieces you have. Because what do you get right now for firing Gase? It's 0-5. It's the worst start to a season since 1996. And it probably looks worse than that team, to be honest. So if you fire him, what are you trying to achieve? Nothing. So, you're not going to win. Whoever the interim coach isn't going to be the coach next year. So it's not like you're doing anything there. So just find out what you've got. Play all your young guys. Let them go out there and ball out. And then you know where your weaknesses are. And then you go into the draft. If we've got the number 1 pick in the draft, it's such a dilemma. Do you take Trevor Lawrence, or do you trade out of that and get a king's ransom? And you trade back a couple picks. Say you get Jamar Chase, you grab a stud wide receiver to go with Mims. Hopefully he can play football at some point in his life for us. And then Jameson Crowder, you get the 3 of them. You grab an actual talented running back.
Yeah. And what is with Mims, by the way? So you're sitting here every Sunday and you're watching. You said it earlier, the guy from Pittsburgh. What was that kid's name from Notre Dame?
Claypool.
Claypool goes for 4 today. Yeah. CeeDee Lamb's been lighting up. Jefferson from Minnesota. Yep. All these rookie wideouts are putting up. Jerry Jeudy. We got lost 2 weeks ago by Jerry Jeudy. Yeah,
Ruggs had 170 yards today,
and our guy can't even get onto the field yet.
Oh, double hamstring. He's got 2 flat tires. Yeah,
I mean it's brutal. It's really is brutal. And the same thing with P. Ryan. So I wonder how hurt he is, and I don't know. But listen, whenever Gase gets fired, and it can't be soon enough. I just can't. I was listening to the first half of his press conference, and he doesn't take any accountability for anything. It's not him. And he even went as far as to insinuate that I don't have any skill players, because he said something like, when you got Kyler Murray out there and it's 3rd and 1, 2, 3, or 5 or whatever, they got so many skill players that they have so much that they can do. Because one of the guys was asking him, what's going on? 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, we can't get any yards. And he was saying they got all the skill players and I don't. He doesn't take ownership of anything. Yeah. And that's part of leadership 101, right? You're the captain of the ship. It's you.
Right. Well, because God forbid you'd actually coach your guys, right? And improve the skill level on the team. That's your job as the coach. Like, you're not going to get loaded up with the Cowboys of the 90s or the Patriots dynasty walking in. Like you've got to round that thing into form. And if you can't coach these young guys into talented players and pull out the best of them and put your team in the situation to win, then you're not the right guy to coach the team. It's that easy.
Yeah. So let me I want to send a personal message to Christopher Johnson. Got it. I kept thinking Woody for a second. So since you're the CEO of the team, here's what you have to do. It's very simple, right? So easy problem to fix. You fire Gase. I don't care if it's at 8:00 tonight or at the end of this miserable season. Okay. Then you go to the football guy that you brought in. His name's Joe Douglas. Okay. He's works in the same building, and you tell him, go find me a head coach, go find me an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, and go find an entire football staff. Okay. I am going to stick to making body wash and baby shampoo and baby powder and whatever else I'm making over there. And you run the football operator. You're the general manager. Everybody's going to report to you, and you do it. Okay. Because that's why I gave you a 6-year deal. Joe Douglas is everything I'm reading and people I talk to. He's so highly regarded. Let him do his thing. Okay. Yeah. Give him some time, bring in football people to do football things and stay out of the way. Go away, write the check when we ask you to write the check, and stay away from everything. Okay. Yeah. Because that's the problem.
Sit up in your private personal booth, watch the games on Sunday if you can get to the stadium. But yeah, you absolutely nailed it. You grabbed a guy who won the Eagles a Super Bowl, who worked under Ozzie Newsome in Baltimore. The experience, the mindset that he's got it's money, right? You give him a 6-year contract, you've got him locked up for a complete rebuild, and there is absolutely no denying that we are in a complete rebuild. So back up, say it's yours. Yeah. And I'm going to watch you make this team and just get out of the way. You know, you heard all off season too about how they wouldn't open up the checkbooks to sign people, that there were like somehow like money problems that they were having, which I don't understand what that means. Like if you can't afford the team, if you can't afford to pay the players on the team, which I don't understand how,
then sell the team.
Then sell the team.
Please do everybody a favor in New York.
Yeah. Sell it to somebody who
go away.
Yeah. So, but yeah, absolutely dead on. Like that needs to happen. I don't think Christopher Johnson's going to be watching the show, right? There's just too many.
He might.
Yeah, but if you know him, whoever's watching this, if you know
have
him,
please call me.
Yeah,
call me, right. Please.
Yeah, call in live during the show. We'll do a live show, and you can call in and explain to Jets Nation what in God's name is going on with this franchise, and why you enjoy torturing millions of people each week. So
we got the Dolphins next week.
Yes. And
based on what I'm seeing, I know you're never as good or as bad as your last game, but we just might be. I don't see us winning there. We got the Bills at home, and then we go to KC, then the Patriots, then the Chargers, then the Dolphins, and that's it. We're done.
And since the Raiders just handled Kansas City in Kansas City, I thought maybe we could beat the Raiders. That's a possibility. No, that's not going to happen either.
No, so this could be the 0-16. This could be an 0-16 year. Really, really, really likely.
Yeah,
because I don't see the wins.
Right. So you have an embarrassing 0-16 season, and like I was talking about, if you get the number 1 pick going 0-16, do you take Lawrence or do you take that King's ransom? And you've got 3 first round draft picks for the next 2 years, maybe, and then 2 probably you probably get 3 first round picks for whoever wants Trevor Lawrence. He's that talented. Do you take that draft capital and stick with Sam and build around him, or do you send him off?
Yeah, here's my answer. If the draft was tomorrow, I'm taking the picks. I'm taking Darnold, and I'm saying I got to stick with you. I'm taking the picks, and I'm trying to do whatever I can.
Yeah.
But since it's not tomorrow, I'm going to say I got to figure out what I got in Darnold. He's, I mean, how many games has he played? 18? I mean, my God, it feels like he's been here for so long and he just hasn't played enough. And I mean, we don't have to go down the list of journeyman scrubs that he's thrown to over his career, or the bad offensive lines, or the no running game, or everything he's had.
Yeah.
So if the draft is tomorrow, I'm keeping Darnold, and I'm building. I'm just going to try and build, because you have to build through the draft. You just have to. You have to build and develop players. You got to build around the line. You got to get the quarterback and protect the quarterback.
Yeah, and it's really crazy to think about, and especially from Joe Douglas's perspective, like what the amount of pressure if you miss. I mean, because you're talking about what they're saying about Trevor Lawrence is Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck level of talent. If you let Peyton Manning go to another team, the next Peyton Manning go to another team, and you miss with Sam, and you miss with those picks, that's 20 years.
It's right. It's right where we are today. It's right where we are today. Continuation. It's what it is.
It's a continuation of
more. It's more of the same. Yeah, it is.
So I think with that, we now know that we have to draft Trevor Lawrence then. Because if we don't, he will be Peyton Manning. We will miss on everything, and we'll be screwed. But
I mean, he still, even if you take him, he still has to have somebody to throw to. And listen, maybe when Perryman comes back and he's healthy, and Mims, the three of those guys. Listen, Herndon, I'm done with Herndon. If he never plays another down again, I'll be fine with it. Put in Ryan Griffith. He's good. He's better, I think. He was decent last year.
I can't explain Herndon. It makes no sense.
The Jets are lucky they scored a touchdown. I mean, I could have caught that pass. He was so wide open, and it was a soft throw. It wasn't like it was ripped in there.
Right.
It was just led out there for him. All he had to do was catch it, turn, and he had a real chance of getting in the end zone.
Yeah.
And he dropped the ball again.
Yep. But you know what'll happen is he'll go to another team like Robbie Anderson and just be fucking ridiculous. Like I saw something that said, like, whoever plays for Adam Gase that gets cut, pick them up. Because you look at like you talked about with Tannehill, absolute garbage. I thought he was a wasted draft pick, and apparently Miami did too. They let him go. Golden. You look at what Devontae Parker's doing down there in Miami now.
And Gesicki, too.
And
Gesicki, 91 today, 91 yards today at 5 pitches.
Stupid. And then we let Robbie Anderson go, and he's down there playing like he's friggin' Antonio Brown. It's unreal. So, we'll end up cutting Herndon before we fire Gase, and he'll go anywhere and be, a top 3 tight end in football. It's this coach.
By the way, Robbie Anderson, 8 for 112 today.
Mm-hmm.
He's
like a top 10 wide receiver.
Yeah.
I think. Right.
He only has 1 touchdown, but still, he's 28 targets, 34 targets, 28 catches. I don't know if that was coming into today or after today, but
where is he? Trying to find him real quick, but
I got it right here. That's after today. He's 377 receiving yards. Yeah, in the 5 games this year.
Oh, he's right there, number 7. Yeah, so he's the top 10 on the air, 28 catches on 34 targets, 377 for 1 touchdown. But yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I didn't like that trade when we traded Teddy Bridgewater. I think we should have kept him. I think we got nothing for him. I don't remember the trade, but it wasn't very much at all.
We got a second rounder.
No, I don't think it was. Was it second round pick?
They gave us
Bridgewater?
Second round for Bridgewater, if I remember right.
Okay.
But it was the Saints, so it was like the very end.
Saints. Yeah.
We could have just kept him, obviously.
Yeah. We could have just kept him. He did decent in New Orleans, and now he's doing fine in Carolina.
Yep. He looks good. Oh, sorry, 3rd round pick. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't think it was second. Yeah. Okay. 3rd round pick for him. Yeah, we probably drafted somebody who's not even on the team anymore. Polite, maybe, who had a sack today.
Is he in football?
Yeah, he had a sack today. I think he's on the Rams.
Really? I thought he was like done with football. So, well, of course. See, if you're an Adam Gase, if you're an ex-Adam Gase player, take a shot.
Yep.
You've got something there. So,
Ja'Kai put 3 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss.
wow. And he didn't even make it through the preseason with us.
No.
So, yeah. Anyway. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up. So Jets fans, again, stay strong, stay positive.
Looking forward to April's draft.
Yeah.
That's what we got to look forward to.
Like every year. I haven't looked forward to a playoff fight so every year it's just we're fighting for a high draft pick. Like I'm looking for that first overall draft pick, and that's considered a win if we get like a top 5 pick every year. I feel like we've done something, and it makes me hate my life. But I mean,
would Mike Greenberg said Trevor Lawrence should really consider staying in the NFL at Clemson.
Yeah,
if the Jets have the number 1 pick. I mean, that's brutal, right?
It really is. It is, and he's a lifelong Jets fan. So,
yeah, oh yeah, I know.
It's.
I mean,
but
he's going to Peyton Manning us.
Yeah, probably go to get drafted by the Colts next year.
What's worse? So let me just ask you this though: what's worse? Is it worse to lose 4 Super Bowls in a row, or to not have a Super Bowl in your lifetime?
I'd rather lose the 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah, I think I would too. At least you're there.
Right. At least you have. At least, I mean, what do we have every year? This is every year since Rex Ryan left. Every year has just been misery. Where you're hoping 500 is a pipe dream every year. Just we can't even do that. So I would rather at least have exciting seasons that 4 years that I'm all in and all the way to the end, and you lose. So be it. But fuck, I want to feel that passion, that fire again, that excitement on game day. And today I sat down in front of the TV. I already knew it was going to be a loss, but still watch.
I don't even put my jersey on anymore.
No,
I don't even put it on. I got a Sam Darnold jersey. It's hanging in the closet, and I put it on for the first 3 weeks of the season. And then I said, I can't even anymore.
Yeah,
I can't even. And it's not even that I'm not down on Darnold. He's made some bad plays, hasn't played great, but
it's just not exciting.
I'm just down on the Jets. I only threw this hat on to do the do the show.
Yeah, I threw on my camo Jets jersey because I didn't want anybody to know that I'm actually.
It was Jets. That it was Jets. Yeah,
it's my my LaDainian Tomlinson Jets jersey. So anyway,
if Douglas, Chris Johnson, will sit down with Douglas, tell him to find a coach. You cannot do it. You cannot interview him. You cannot have any input into who the head coach is. Okay, you can't.
Tell me who you've hired.
Yeah. Tell them who you hired, and that's it.
Yeah,
stay out of the way.
That would be ideal,
please.
So that's what we need. Just the silent ownership. Just sitting back, collect your revenue, and hopefully watch the Jets start winning. But just stay away.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Body wash and baby powder.
Yes, without not the cancer causing baby powder. They've got all that shit to deal with as well. Just focus on that. Focus on those lawsuits that you're dealing with from all that, and let the Jets be, please. Or sell it to Gary Vaynerchuk, please. He wants to buy the team.
Sell it to A-Rod. Maybe he's a New York guy who's trying to buy the Mets, right? Yeah. Maybe he wants to buy the Jets. It's close.
Yeah. Right. I mean, if you want to buy a losing franchise,
turn it around.
Yeah, might as well. So cool. All right, let's leave it at that. So we'll come back for our preview and our recap for the other games. But until we meet back again next week, well,
0-16, here we come.
Yes, Trevor Lawrence watch is still in effect. So all right, till next time.
See ya.
Goodbye.